makers, I'm Joe the 3D Maker Noob, and today I want to talk to you about this massive thing of a machine I have right next to me. This is the Tronxy X5S, and it is an upgraded version of the Tronxy X5. This is a €235 kit coming from Tronxy, or Tronxy, which has a build volume of 330 by 330 by 400 in height. Not only that, the format comes with dual lead screws and a Core XY configuration, which theoretically should make it faster and more accurate. Now, for those of you who follow me, you know that my history with Tronxy printers or Tronxy printers isn't the best. They seem to be my Achilles heel, and every single one that comes here tends to give me grief. This one started off actually surprisingly well. The kit wasn't fully assembled. It's still a kit. There's still a lot of assembly to do. However, it took me about 2.5 hours to put together, which wasn't all that bad. After about 3 hours, it started printing, and the instructions, as usual, not the best when it comes to Tronxy. They still confuse a few things. They still tell you that you need to use a set of screws of certain length which do not actually come with the kit. It gets quite confusing with Tronxy instructions. However, apart from that, it does give you a relatively good idea on how to assemble it, which is why I've managed. This is the only Tronxy or Tronxy printer that I've assembled in less than a full day. So it took me about 2.5–3 hours, and it was ready to print. Now, this obviously prints through USB. It doesn't need to be tethered. So I inserted the SD card that came along with it, and I wanted to print this calibration cube right here. So I threw in some filamentive red RPLA and started printing, or better yet, I pressed start print. After about 10 minutes, nothing was happening. So I kind of looked at the screen and I saw that the bed temperature was still at 40 degrees. So that was my first indication that a few things need to be fixed on this printer. However, what I did was I lowered the temperature from the preset 50 degrees and I lowered it down to 40 so it could start printing. And it actually started printing. I have to say that it printed quite well. The calibration cube that it prints, which is pre-sliced on the SD card, actually came out really nice. A bit of inconsistent layers, but nothing major considering that it's a €235 printer. So I was quite hopeful that this machine has quite a bit of potential. So what I did then was I threw in this faceless model right here. This was enlarged to about 250% from the original model, and it took about 35 hours to print with some Prusa silver PLA. I want to say that it was printing quite well. I created a profile on Cora, so very basic without any tweaking, and it started printing, and it was printing very well until I noticed halfway there was a layer shift at the bottom. So I kind of dismissed that and I left it going through printing. However, halfway through the print, I noticed another massive layer shift. And I looked at the nozzle and I instantly saw oozing coming out. So the nozzle that came with it wasn't properly seated in the heat block and the throat. So the PLA was kind of melting and oozing outside of the nozzle. It was accumulating around the nozzle. So I assumed that's what was causing the layer shift. So what I did was I used the nozzle from the CR10S that I had to replace it because they used the same pretty much hot end, and I tried printing it again. This was the result. As you notice, it was starting to print the raft, and the reason why I was using a raft on this printer is because the build plate is so large that it actually sags in the middle. So it's very, very difficult to get the right first layer. So I had to use a raft for every single print that I did. However, what happened was that I got a layer shift on the second layer of the raft. So I said to myself, let me slice a normal size print. Nothing major, because I still need to test it out, and I was being a bit ambitious with this large print. So I threw in an original size faceless model by Fantasygraph and I started printing. I tried it, layer shift, tried it again, layer shift, I tried it yet again, layer shift. Now on the last major fail that I did, this has about 4 or 5 layer shifts, because after the first layer shift, I was kind of getting frustrated. And I noticed that even if you tug on the belts just a little bit with pretty much no force, the stepper motors actually skip and you get layer shift. So I instantly realized that the stepper motors actually have no torque whatsoever. Any bit of force against them it would instantly result in a layer shift. So what I did then was I reduced the acceleration settings, the jerk settings, just in case that the movement, the set of movement, would actually cause these stepper motors to deviate from their normal path, and ergo it would shift the layers. But I tried it again, and once again I had layer shift, which I stopped instantly. Tried it once more, had another layer shift. Tried it again, still had another layer shift. Now by this point I was ready to kind of give up because it was starting to get a bit too frustrating. Something I also noticed is that when using the heat bed, it actually draws quite a lot of power. So much so that the power wires, the 12-volt power wires that power the main board, actually tend to become quite warm. So I thought to myself, let me switch off the heat bed and make sure that all the energy is used just to print something and, well, basically move the stepper motors and heat the hot end itself and nothing else. That's where I got my first successful print, almost. It printed well. I'm not going to talk about the quality of the print because that's subjective to how much you fine-tune the filament for the printer. Unfortunately, it was the cooling that let this down, and it kind of broke off the arm of the model itself. But what happened here, the reason why this succeeded is because I reduced the speed down to 40, I reduced the acceleration, I reduced the jerk, I did not use the heat bed, so basically it should have had enough concentrated power to move the stepper motors themselves and just use the hot end. So I tried it once again, and once again it failed in the exact same spot as before, which is an absolute shame. All this was about 2 weeks worth of work for me because it's just literally putting up a print. I didn't want to trust it overnight. I don't know the printer, so I need to make sure that I monitor it when it's printing, which is why it took such a long time. I've had this thing built for quite some time now. So finally I thought to myself, okay, let me try not to do any complicated prints and just do the make test in order to start my review and get a calibration from there. Now, as you can see, the make test is still on the build plate. It was printing fine. However, once again, I had a layer shift, and this was without the heat bed being heated up. Same settings as these faceless models. However, as you notice, there was a massive layer shift, and that layer shift is about 2 inches on the x-axis, which is quite big. And that's when I decided to switch it off, and that's it for me. It's done. So what do I think of this printer? I'm going to start out with the cons. So first of all, the instructions, as always, Tronxy have huge difficulty putting up decent instructions for people to follow. Someone who has no idea how to put together a 3D printer will find it a bit difficult. They will get around to it, but it's still a bit confusing. It is severely underpowered. The fact that the heat bed takes 10 minutes to heat up to 40 degrees and 20 minutes to heat up to 50 degrees, that pretty much tells me that there is no way you can print anything other than PLA on this printer, because while I tried to heat it up to 70 degrees just as a test, it took over 45 minutes, and that basically just told me that it's not going to be possible. The other issue with these kits is QC. Quality control is pretty much non-existent. The fact that the nozzle started oozing straight away, it's basically telling me that when these companies put these kits together, there is obviously no quality control. And honestly speaking, for 235 euros for a kit like this, I wouldn't expect anything less. However, there is one good thing about this printer, and that is this is a very good foundation of parts to build your own Core XY. It's essentially a good kit in terms of frame. In terms of components, not so much. You change the power supply, change the main board, possibly also change the belts, because these are the plastic ones, so you don't really want those. But yeah, it could be essentially a really good 3D printer with a massive build volume to keep you more than happy, but it just requires too much work. For under 300 euros, you can get some decent printers. The JG Aurora A5, which I'm currently reviewing, is an incredibly good printer. For 300 euros, it has quite a large build volume. So companies like these should stop making these kits and just focus on the fact that people are okay with spending a bit more money to get a really good printer. And that's why I believe the CR10S or the CR10 was very important for the community last year. People are willing to pay more to get a really good, reliable printer. And we're seeing it now that prices are starting to slightly shift upwards with more functionality on printers, better quality. So yeah, I believe that unless you want this kit as a base for your own custom printer, then personally speaking, for that money, spend a bit more and get something better. You have the CR10, you have the JJ Aurora A5, so it's definitely not a printer I would recommend for someone who's just starting out and wants a 3D printer to start printing straight away. Disclaimer as always, guys, this machine was sent to me by GearBest. I had requested this follow the amount of requests that I had from you guys to review this 3D printer. All thoughts are my own based on the machine that I was supplied, and no money has exchanged hands. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. If you want more information on the printer or any of the other printers I mentioned, I'll leave the link in the video description. In the meantime, like, share, subscribe, and as always, happy making, guys.